Welcome guys to the second training log. In this training log I focused on front split training, front split and compression stuff. I'm really into front split or chasing the front split since I think 4 to 6 months now. I started last year in October, November-ish. And I'm really enjoying the training style and just chasing the extreme positions. I really enjoyed that, which I haven't done it all in the last 2 or 3 years, where I just focused on maintaining healthy joints and high performance instead of chasing extreme positions such as splits or pancakes, for example. Here for the first exercise, you see me holding just a normal couch stretch. I progressed already with having my shins on the wall. As you see here, I'm really focusing on that PPT, that posterior pelvic tilt, where I try to really squeeze my glutes and push my hips forward as much as I can. Don't arch my back, keeping my spine as neutral as possible. And you see here, I try to go in an extreme position. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend you going into that position because you just lose the PPT, you arch the back, and you're not stretching the psoas and the hip flexors anymore, or perfectly, right? You're still getting a stretch, but it's not as good of a position. So I usually hold that for a couple of sets, depending on how I feel, on how tight I feel. I mean, this was me having a rest day before the session, so I felt pretty okay, pretty good. Usually I have 2 sessions during the week, and in one session I really feel tired because I have sore legs already, and it's really tough. And then I just add one more set. Maybe I do 4 sets of 60-second holds here. I obviously have one better and one worse side. Usually my hip extension on the left side is better and feels a little bit better. And I really enjoy this setup with the ab mat. I tried a lot of setups, but with this ab mat, it really works fine for me, or the best. I supersetted the couch stretch with this hamstring softener exercise. I really like this one because it kind of resembles the front split positioning, but I'm just lying on the floor in a supine position, and I'm trying to fight for a straight supporting leg, and then I really fight against the band, just fighting against the stretch reflex, and I'm engaging my hip flexors as good as I can. So I try to pull the knee towards the chest as much as I possibly can here. I play around a little bit, hinge and hinge back. I straighten it. I'm aiming for 3 to 5 repetitions most of the time when I do that, and with a 5 to 10 second hold. Depending again on how I feel and how this exercise feels. And I like this more intuitive style of training for myself. Obviously for our clients, we really want to be serious about like slowly progressive overloading, but since I'm in this industry, I know a lot of stuff for a long time. I like to play around with reps and set schemes from week to week, and I'm having great success so far with this approach for myself. So doing both legs again. For me, it's quite natural to have one good and one bad side. So in that case, it's just fighting hard. Next one, we have the same stuff, but me trying out something different. It's not new. I already got into these last year, but from time to time I really like to incorporate this one because it really works hard on the hip flexor and not on the quad, because the quad is responsible for the knee extension, right? And I also want to engage my hip flexors as hard as I can, so I really pull that leg closer to my chest. So in order to do that, I use the block to really crush the block using hard isometrics here, while I also try to fight for as much knee extension as possible while crushing the block. And I do these isometrics for a couple of reps, and then I get rid of the block and have a hard contraction, much harder contraction compared to before, because the central nervous system just responds better because the isometrics just activated more muscle fibers, and it's just a harder contraction overall. So I really enjoy this variation from time to time. Obviously, I have two different split sessions where I focus on different kind of exercises, and this is all already a staple because it just resembles the front split position quite nicely. I am not able to extend yet my leg here, as you can see, fully, because just the stretch reflex of my hamstring is just not allowing me to go any further yet. But if you can imagine that line in this supine lying position, you get a nice front split line when the knee gets closer to your chest and you're able to extend your knee completely. So this is a great one, which I really enjoy. And in the next exercise, I really focus on opening the hip flexors as hard as I can in this heavy hip flexor stretch. Again, I progressed already to this progression where I use or where I put my shin against the wall. I really like this one, and I just find it overall really hate-love relationship and really painful. I started with heavier weights and I focused more on engaging the PPT because I just got too much pressure on my lumbar spine, and I really felt it the day after that I just pushed too hard. What I mean by push too hard, I mean pushing too hard is just pushing the glutes toward the ground, pushing into a deeper hip extension. And if I push deeper, I also compress my lumbar spine a lot more, obviously. When the PPT, the posterior pelvic tilt, is not that great yet, or the psoas is still not open enough to hold that PPT, you obviously fall immediately into an anterior pelvic tilt and the lumbar spine gets a lot of pressure. So we definitely don't want that to happen, and therefore you don't see me, especially here, it's my left side. You see me, here on the right side, in the next rep, having a more arched back because my right hip extension is a little bit worse, so I cannot hold that PPT as good and as strong as on the left side, and therefore the pressure that my lumbar spine receives is so much higher, and therefore I try to lean a little bit more forward with my upper body, allowing me to release and get rid of some lumbar spinal compression here. So I really enjoyed this one, sinking deeper. This is tough, working on hip flexors while training heavy legs. I mean, probably some of you also train heavy squats, heavy thrusts, heavy lunges, and this is tough to really open up the hip flexors while simultaneously working on heavy strength and conventional strength lifts. It's a tough journey, but I really love it and I'm enjoying the progress and the process, and I know eventually I will reach that goal. So now we got into some Jefferson curls. This is a staple of mine and should be for everyone who really wants to find a better standing pike, a better compression, a longer spine. It's just overall a great spinal strengthening exercise, but also especially to open up the posterior chain and to strengthen your knee lock. So therefore, just overall great. I use two 12 kilo kettlebells here. I really like that setup. Instead of using one kettlebell, I like having two kettlebells. I also like working with a barbell from time to time. My intention here was getting 5 reps done, so 3 or 4 sets of 5 with a 20 to 30 second long hold at the end. And I'm really focusing on locking my knees as good as I can, engaging my quads as hard as I can, and then really reaching down, trying also to compress my chest and my abs closer towards my knees and my quads, contracting my abs so I really feel that compression even more. Now here you can see my long hold. it's really tough for me, the Jefferson curls, as my hamstrings are really my weak link, and I tend to overwork my hamstring throughout the week, and I definitely feel it in the Jefferson curls. So definitely a weak link work here for me, but I still enjoy the process. Next one, the hard work and the weak link work continues here with some pike compression work and some pike lifts. I already got better at it, but as you can see, I'm still tend to lean a little bit more back. I'm not able to do them yet on a wall, with my back on a wall. It's just too much. It's too strict for me, and my legs are just too heavy yet, and therefore I really have a hard time still. As I said, I progressed already. I really like them. I also do them weighted from time to time, and I focus on 3 to 4 sets here, and I love supersetting them with the knee extension you will see here. So this one is just one of my favorites. I really can compress deep over my quads, can hold my upper body in place with grabbing the yoga block, and then I can focus on that knee extension, which helps to release the hamstring a lot more. So the stronger your quads are, the stronger the hip flexors are. In this case, the stronger the antagonists are, the more relaxed can the agonist be. In this case, the agonist is obviously your quads as they work, and therefore your antagonist gets lengthened, right? In this case, the hamstring. And it's a great correlation between agonist and antagonist. And if the agonist is really weak, and the antagonist, in this case the hamstring, has a worse stretch reflex. It's just a correlation which is there and which you should be aware of when it comes to mobility training. So yeah, both sides are quite equal here, so I'm pretty happy. I lift here an 8 kilo kettlebell. I'm already progressed a lot here, and I really enjoy this superset here. So yeah, give it a try from time to time, guys. And my last compression work before it goes into my recovery routine, which I do all the time after the workout, is here the standing pike compression. I usually choose 2 or 3 minutes, where I try to accumulate 30-second pieces, so 30-second reps. Or 30 seconds is one mini set. Then I take a break for a couple of seconds, 20, 30 seconds, and then I go in again, accumulating 2 to 3 minutes. And I really try again, same as for the Jefferson Curls, compressing me down as much as I can, really focusing on quad engagement, feeling my abs contracting and pulling me deeper here in this position. It's really an active stretch that I hold here. It's not passive, just relaxing here. I try to find a deeper range of motion here and really compressing my body closer to my legs, getting that spine just more lengthened, more spinal flexion in that lumbar spine, which is also a weak link for sure. Still, it's so much better than a couple of years ago, where I just focused on maintaining healthy joints and not working really hard on some positions like standing pike or the splits, for example. So I really enjoyed my session overall. It takes me around an hour to hour 20, depending on how much time I spend, how much breaks I take, and if I add 1 or 2 more sets, depending on how I feel on that day. So my recovery breathing, I really enjoy that. Lately, I really calm down at the end, focus on relaxing everything and driving that sympathetic nervous system, which is activated throughout your training, driving that down and getting as soon as possible into that parasympathetic nervous system. It is a game changer. Just if I compare this to my workouts 2 or 3 years ago, where I just ran out of the gym, maybe took a shower, get my normal clothes on, jump into the train, get into the supermarket, get some meals, then get into home, start cooking straight away. I always was in this stress mode, in this sympathetic state mode, and I really enjoyed getting the cool down, the recovery breathing in, where I immediately went into recovery mode instead of waiting 1, 2, 3 hours until I really could relax or was relaxed on the couch eating or even in the bed. So kicking in that recovery mode is just a game changer. I highly can recommend you that. So yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed, guys. If you did, leave us a like, a comment. Tell us about like your mobility journey right now. Where are you at right now? What are your goals for 2020? And see you next time.